Point streak continue, or will my beard get shaved? Welcome into the DNVR Avalanche pregame show. The Avs are taking on the Calgary Flames before they dip back home for a game. Big E and Rudo coming to you live, pregaming. Well, you know what? Before we get into pregame, stop what you're doing, whatever it is, and go sign up to become a DNVR diehard right now if you're not already. It's the last day of our sale. It is technically NFL free agent frenzy, where you can get it for less than half price, $36 for the year of DNVR diehard memberships. We know it says NFL on there, but really, you get a bunch of amazing content from AJ on the Avs side. You get it all included. If you like Nuggets stuff, if you like Rocky stuff, it's all there. You get all of this on top of it too, whether it be access to the Discord, discounts at the bar. You get a free t-shirt just for signing up. It's a great deal all the way around. If you haven't become a diehard yet, now is the best time to do it. And again, the sale ends tonight. So go get in, go become a part of the diehard fam. All right. This is an interesting game. Obviously, the Avs are coming off a loss. There you go. You can get that shirt. Get the Mac 1K shirt. Celebrate his being the 100th player ever to get 1,000 points in the NHL. This game's a bit interesting to me. The Avs are on a 7-game point streak, but they're just coming off of a loss to Minnesota. Now, Minnesota did lose in overtime the other night, so the Avs maintain that 2-point lead for the third seed in the Central. And at the same time, on the backside of it, Calgary is fighting for its life in the second wildcard spot. So do you expect a playoff atmosphere in this one?
Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah, I'll talk about it in the keys there, but it's fun over there. It's electric. It does. The Sea of Red is fun there. When it seems that the weather has calmed down a little bit there. It's so cold, so like, oh God, wintry for so long there. And then you got March that comes out. People start coming out, and yeah, it's exciting. I think it's going to be a fun game. You're right. They are right there in that doorstep there. They're actually in the wild card, but so many teams, like you said, it's all right there. It's gonna be a tough one for them, though. They're Backlund is injured. Zari is suspended. A couple key pieces of their offense, you know what I mean? And yeah, let's not take anybody lightly. You are fighting for your own lives, so to speak, right? The Avalanche. We want to get into the dance. You want to make sure you secure that. You got to get in there, and then you can deal with the dance afterwards.
It would be pretty catastrophic for the Avs to miss the dance from here, but
it would be.
Doesn't mean they aren't trying to chase down Dallas. Doesn't mean they aren't trying to fend off Minnesota. There are things to play for there a little bit. With the Avs lineup, Scott Wedgwood does draw back in goal. Bednar continuing to rotate his goalies. I don't think that's all that surprising. Having Blackwood fresh and ready to play Dallas on Sunday makes sense. Obviously, not that this is an important game, but going head-to-head with Dallas is more meaningful for Colorado than tonight is. When you look at the rest of the lineup, forward core is the same as the other night, but it is also EJ drawing in for Malinsky once again for the Avs. I'm curious what your thoughts are on that side of it. Obviously, Bednar gave Malinsky all the praise in the world about one of his best games the other night, and now he's played EJ twice in a row. What's up with that?
No. Malinsky played last game.
Is that what it was? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so EJ probably hung out with the family in the stands there, and then Malinsky played in front of his. I think you're going to see a little bit of alternating there. You know what I mean? And again, knock on wood, I always do. You know what I mean? Situational. Some teams he's going to play. Malinsky's going to play as long as everybody's playing well. What you can see clearly up front, though, with no changes again, is sounds like Miles Wood is the guy drawing the short straw now, from now on, unless something happens. And but I think that what you see is what you get with the forwards. And as far as Blackwood, Wedgwood has been so good the last few games, and I think they did say that he was a little bit under the weather. The weather. It sounded French there. Ew, the weather. No, he was a little bit under the weather. I mean, I think he's still backing up and everything, but again, you're right. Why not just have Blackwood ready to play Sunday on an afternoon game, right? You're going to get home tonight, not so bad, not too late. Probably a day off tomorrow, and then it's an afternoon game. So kind of fun. Again, you got fresh bodies. I like that. We talked about that the other day. Fresh bodies makes a difference. Obviously, it didn't really make a big difference last game because they got in around 4 a.m. in bed. So, but, so the fresh bodies maybe help. Maybe that gave you a point. Who knows? We'll never know.
A couple of comments from the chat here. Bearded saying he's going to the game on the 25th. How wants to know how to hit us up and meet us. You would come to the DNVR bar for that. That's where we will be for pretty much every home game. We're at the DNVR bar. So if you want to swing by pregame, you can always come say hi. Or depending on when the game is, sometimes postgame. If it's a late game, we'll be closed. But pregame at the bar would be the place to find us. And then Jamie talking about the potential for Dallas to catch Winnipeg at the top of the division, and the Avs end up in the 2-3 seed with Winnipeg instead of Dallas. I mean, I'm not saying it can't happen. It definitely could happen, but it would be tough. I think the odds of the Avs catching Dallas are about the same as Dallas catching Winnipeg, that being pretty low. And as we are talking right now, Winnipeg is beating Dallas 1-0 in the first period. If Winnipeg wins that game in reg, Dallas is pretty much done with their aspirations of catching Winnipeg, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, if they're going to catch him, it's the same thing with the Avalanche. If you're going to catch, Dallas and everything, you got to beat them on Sunday. You know what I mean? Yep. You got to beat the teams that you're catching. You're trying to catch, or else it's really digging yourself a little bit of a hole. Listen, a lot can happen in 15 to 17 games, absolutely. But then you would think that in order to make that happen, you got to win those games. So who knows tonight? It's only first or second period? Winnipeg first period, I believe. So, you never know. All of a sudden it makes it more interesting. And again, you worry about your own backyard, you worry about your own game, and then you see where the chips fall, and that's who you play, and you go from there.
Yep. Hey, win your own games. All that other stuff is secondary for sure. Look, when it comes to Calgary, they've been a team that, I don't know. I feel like their team hasn't been anywhere near as dysfunctional as a team like Vancouver has been this year, who they're directly competing with. But is this just who Calgary is, or have things just not quite clicked this year for them, E?
No, I do remember we had GM Craig Conroy there on the show last time we played them, and he was very pleased with the situation of where they were at. They didn't expect to be there. I didn't expect them to be there. I think what it does a little bit, if you compare them to Vancouver, with the run they had last year, I think they had expectations this year, and they fell short of their expectations. No ifs and buts about it. They had that drama with Miller, Pedersen, goaltending problems with Demko, all that kind of stuff, with injuries, and ended up signing Lankinen, sorry. Not Lehkonen, but Lankinen. And then all of a sudden, like Calgary, I think they're, they made a couple trades, added a few guys, and, I think giving their guys a chance. You know what I mean? The Kadris, the Uberos, these guys want to win. They want to get into the dance. They want to get to the playoffs. It's, like I said, it's a fun city when the playoffs are on. So I think they're excited to be playing meaningful games, but I think they want more. They want to get in, and they believe that they can make some damage. So I think for them to get in, games like tonight are very important. You know what I mean? They're very important. Like you said, they're in the hot soup right now. You know what I mean? I'm talking about between the four teams that are trying to get in that last wild card spot. It's like all within 1 point. So they're going to be playing for their lives tonight. It's going to be a very intense game for them. Every point matters. And the Avalanche are coming in. They know what they did at the deadline. So they're like, here we go. All right, buckle up, boys, tonight. You know what I mean? So, they're going to be ready. It's going to be a fun game. I believe tonight will be a fun hockey game. I'm excited for
it. Okay. I probably just ruined one of your three keys, but let's have them. Let's see what three keys you brought for the Avs to beat a desperate Calgary team.
Yeah, that's all good. I mean, it's the Sea of Red. We've all known about it, right? Over the years, whenever they get in the playoffs, it's so fun. So Sea of Red, beware, right? They're in a playoff position, and they rally behind the Flames, and And for sure tonight, this has playoff implications, playoff vibes. It's going to be a playoff type atmosphere tonight because it just is. You just got to look at the standings and you know what it means. And it means for both teams. So the Avalanche included. So looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. Key number 2 is beware of some of the veterans and a young one. I mean, you got obviously, no need to talk about Nas. We all know what he can do in those situations. Uberos had their good year for them. Yes, it's below 50 points compared to max 100 points. But they've been playing well as a team. You know what I mean? Like using their depth and their 60s and goaltending, and their leaders are good. Mackenzie Weegar's been really good. So they're going to be strong. They're going to be real strong down the stretch for them. But Dustin Wolf has been awesome. He could be a Calder. Everybody's saying he's going to be a Calder finalist with Celebrini and Hudson. The kid's got swag. He's not a big fella. He's 5'11", but he comes to play, man. And I know last time against the Avalanche, it didn't go. Again, he didn't steal anything. The Avalanche won the game, but Dustin Wolf can go out there and steal games on his own, and he's put the team on his shoulder. He's a big reason why the Calgary Flames are in a playoff position when we're talking about the Flames today. Number 3. Speed in the neutral zone. I talked about it a couple games ago. You got to break their sort of trap thing or whatever it is. They're very systematic, they all play the details. They have to because, like I said earlier, they don't have the top-end talent that the Avalanche have. So it's very, very important that the Avalanche are smart at the blue lines, quick strikes in transition, and really shove it up, their rear end in the sense that, they really got to get going there. Whenever there's a transition, you got to get up there and then just shove it down their throat and really use your speed. It's very important that they use their speed. The Avalanche are a fast team, but it's not comparable. I mean, this is a team that plays tight, especially 4-2-4 in their last 10 games. They're very tight. They don't score a lot of goals. They don't give up that many. Their power play is not deadly. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? Like, they're just there and they play tight and they try to win games, and sometimes they try to win at 1-0, 2-1. So we'll see what happens. Play your game. Don't fall into their trap, and then let them chase you around. So that's the key to tonight's game.
This is Michkov erasure, all right? No Wolf over Mishkov in my color bracket. I'll put it to you that way.
Oh, Wolf. Yeah, I'm not putting Mishkov in there. Wolfie's going in there.
Come on.
The man. I love him. Last pick of the draft a few years back. It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was awesome. What a great story that is.
He's been good. I cannot deny it. You're right about him for sure. He's been really good for Calgary this year.
It's fun to watch. He's fun.
Hopefully a guy that the Avs can find a way to solve, and that's kind of what I want to get into next here. Look, I don't think anyone's too concerned with the loss the other night. The Avs still have their point streak. But you look at these last couple of games, and small sample sizes. I'm not trying to make a big deal out of this. But after a great first game with Nelson in the lineup, your second line has gone a little bit quiet these last 2 games. You need some production out of those guys. How do the Avs get it out of them specifically tonight?
Yeah, I mean, as I'm pulling it up right here, like just the Flames lineup, there is no. This is why you go and get Brock Nelson, right? These are the types of games that you make sure that your second line really can all of a sudden go eat a team like that tonight up. You know what I mean? Because you would think that Nas with Coronado Ubero with let's say you match up against McKinnon line, you know what I mean? That's fine, but. Farabee, Blake Coleman, and, Sharon Govich, for example, you should be able to, if you're Val, Drew, and, Nelson, you should be able to get on top of that line. You know what I mean? I do believe that, unless they're playing the Frost line, which I don't think they would. And I think you should be able to eat up the bottom 6 with the depth that you got in Charlie Cole. That's what makes the Avalanche dangerous. And, you're right. The first game was pretty good, and then it's been okay. Even though you can see why, you can see where they are strong. It's not like they lit, the second game there, Mac lit it on fire. What do you have? It was at 1,000 point, whatever it was, like 3-4 points, whatever. You know what I mean? That first
Only
line.
2 points that counted, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean? These guys took over. But it's the same thing on D. For me, that third pair you should be able to eat up if you're Charlie Coyle or, those types of guys, you know what I mean? And even the second pair, I'm a big Rasmus Anderson fan, but Kevin Ball's been injured for a while, right? Now he's back. And then Hanley and Mackenzie Weegar, I mean, again, you're not talking about.
I love Mackenzie Weegar.
No, I remember I just talked about him. I do, but Hanley's a waiver pickup, whatever he was. I mean, it's okay. You know what I mean? Like, so you should be able to eat those guys down low up. You know what I mean? With the depth that you have, all four lines should be able to get down there, manufacture, and create. So I think that's where the Nelson addition really comes in clutch. You know what I mean? Where you should have a 1-2 punch. You should win that 1-2 punch. So if you're going head to head, just looking at their lineup, you should win that 1-2 punch.
And the encouraging part is it's not like they're far away, right? Nelson thought he had a goal the other night. It would just crossbar and out, unfortunately. But that's a line that you have built it to score goals for you. So it needs to start scoring goals for you. And look, in a perfect world, you say, give them 10 games, they'll figure it out. But there's only 16 games left in the season. You don't have that timeline. They need to start doing it immediately. You would like to see that second line do a good bit better there. Not that, again, small sample size, I'm not concerned about it, but you do want to see it show up. Beyond that, you're looking at a team that, again, these are small sample sizes. Don't read too much into this. I think you would like to see your top pairing start giving you a little bit more offensively. And look, did Makar look great the other night? Yeah. But did he actually give you any points? No. So you've ended up in this place with Taves and Makar where I'm not saying they're bad. Again, I think Makar's the best player on the planet and Taves is a great pairing mate for him. But the way the Avs are built, even with the additions they made at the deadline, they still run a lot of their offense through their defense. I guess the question I'm asking is, getting that top pairing going, does that help the Avs find a little bit more of that consistency?
Yeah, I do believe that. And you're right. It's all about, I think the word is consistency. I mean, Kale obviously has been pretty consistent. He got 6 points the other night, but you're talking about as a pair. You know what I mean? Like as a pair. I know what you're saying. Find that it's such a tough word. But it's like, I think they found that consistency in net, since they made the trade. I think the consistency, you know what I mean? I think the special team's been, you're almost there. You're still not there with the word consistent. You know what I mean? Like you're trying to get it. I think it's been good at times. And then PK's been better than the power play has. You know what I mean? So you want to make sure that connects. And then obviously the consistency with the energy, I think we've seen that the last 3-4 games since the trade. Why? Because of the competition, internal competition. I'm sorry, it just does. And now you're seeing, this is my lineup. You want to get in, or you're going to have some energy. So now Parker or guys like that I think should be in the lineup. But if you're not going tonight, you're not bringing energy. All right, we'll ask Jimmy or Miles, see if he wants to come in and bring us some energy. So you're going to find that consistency. I think you have it there. And I think between the lines, like the chemistry and the consistency at producing and everything, I think we're starting to see it. We're starting to see what it might look like with all these acquisitions. But you're right. There's not that much time left. So let's get going here. Let's attain that consistency. Then you go into the playoffs flying and feeling good about your game.
Exactly right. And that, look, there is a little bit of pressure on with that much time left in the season. After tonight, there'll be 15 games left. That is not a long runway. And you've talked about this all year, but don't lose 2 in a row. The Avs have had long stretches of ups and downs this season. Finding consistency is consistently being able to bounce back and being able to stay on that successful track. We've seen at times this year when the Avs lose, it becomes 2, 3, 4. We've seen them bounce back, but when they bounce back, it's 1 win, 1 loss. They kind of get stuck in the middle. You want to see them put themselves on that upward trajectory and then continue to rise, right?
Yeah, I mean, they win 6 in a row. They go in late, go to bed late in Minnesota. At the end of the day, everybody's proud. After the game, coaches are, hey, we fought hard. We got that point. Great, awesome. Would have liked to, but fell short. Now, I think internally what you have to do, and I'm convinced that's what they've been talking about since obviously a day off 2 days ago, practice yesterday in Calgary. Then you got O'Connor, Makar, obviously Calgary boys, they probably saw some family and, but all of a sudden you get into the game tonight. The mindset is, guys, we don't lose 2 in a row. I know we didn't, again, I don't have to go back to the stupid shootout. Like I said the other night, I hate saying it's a loss. I absolutely hate that, saying that you lost when it's a shootout. But You didn't get 2 points. How's that? You lost the opportunity to get 2 points. So technically, all right, we lost. So let's get back to it. We don't lose 2 games in a row. And that's how you treat it tonight. You treat it like all of a sudden in the playoffs, you don't want to lose 2 games in a row. Not that it's the end of the world, but usually you lose 2 in a row, you're in a deep hole in the playoffs. So treat it like that tonight. Get after it. And it's going to be a playoff type atmosphere. It's got to be fun. The Sea of Red's going to be in full motion. And, they're going to be going. And they're going to get some energy with the Lamborghini there. You know what I mean? On the third, fourth line there. He's a pain in the butt. And then obviously he won last year. And he knows how to get things going. And he doesn't care. And you got to respond to that tonight. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
Yep. It should be a fun one. You should be. And look, regardless of the caliber of a team you believe Calgary is, there is something to this. You want to test yourself in these types of atmospheres if you're the Avs, right? Because, there are plenty of guys in this core that have been there, that have done that know what it looks like. But when you're talking about someone like a Blackwood, who I know isn't in tonight, but Wedgwood has a couple of came in relief games in the playoffs too, so it matters for him. When you're talking about some of these new guys that maybe some of them have been to the playoffs, some of them haven't, but they've never been to the playoffs with the Avs. So you get a little bit of a taste of what that atmosphere is going to be like with a lineup like this one.
Yeah, and that's why we talk about the Coils and Nelson and those acquisitions, obviously at the deadline there. But then that's one of the reasons why EJ's making his way back here as an Avalanche, because EJ's been through the trenches. Obviously, EJ has been to the summit with the guys, and he still believes that he can help out on the ice. But I think one of the majority of the reasons why you went and got him is for off-ice stuff, locker room stuff, playing stuff, dealing with the pressure, making sure a guy like Malinsky is calm, ready to go when he's called upon, making sure that everybody is doing the right things, making sure that everybody's loose. I think that's why you went and got EJ. And then you'll see tonight, what has he got left in the tank? Well, that's for the coaches to figure out. I know they like their veteran presence, and with Jack last few seasons, right? And obviously EJ a couple years back, and so we'll see what it does. But I like the fact that a guy like Malinsky hasn't been affected by this, and it seems to have helped him because he's playing the best hockey that he's had. And if it's okay if you're managing his minutes, his games, I understand he's not 18 years old, but still, it's a long season in the National Hockey League. Before he was in Cornell, he played 35 games a year. Last year, he tasted that, pro life, all that kind of stuff. But we all know that the goal is to have a very long spring. Therefore, Malinsky's never played 100 games. You know what I mean? So somewhere, somehow, that can be good for him. I'm just giving an example of why EJ is there and why a game like tonight is important for guys to do their job, to learn, and to make sure how you react to certain situations, especially on the road.
Yep. It's important. All righty, give me a name, give me some numbers in the crystal ball here while I go fix my light because I'm in the dark over here.
You are in the darkness, my friend. I'm going to go, I don't want to say it's a cop-out. I just really believe that second line tonight is really dominating. So I was debating between my friend Jonathan or Val. Obviously, with Nelson being in the pivot. So I'm going 4-3 tonight. Might take some overtime for the good guys. And I'm going to go Val Natushkin in that second line. Val with at least a double.
Okay.
That's my pick.
The double. I don't mind the pick. I do think Wedgwood's been really good his last couple of games, so I'd like to see him keep it up, maybe keep it to a 1 or a 2 on that side of it. I want to see the second line going. I want to see that defensive going. I like your 4 on the Avs. I'll go with the 4 for the Avs, but I'm going to say 4-1 with a good Wedgwood game. And then right. I'm going to pick Brock, man. I can't. I got to pick him until he puts one in the back of the net. I'm going with Brock until he scores, so let's stick with Nelson on that front. Look, I'm not trying to be picky. I'll take anyone on that second line, Val, Brock, or Drew. And any of them put the puck in the back of the net tonight, I'm happy. But if I have to pick one, I'm going with Brock. All right, let's jump into my actual bets too, where I picked a little bit of a different option when it comes to the scoring there. But we do have a couple of things. I did take the over. Okay, sure. The Avs -1.5 at +155. We'll go with that. Beyond that, it is the Nature's power play point, which was +190. Maybe the best way to get money with the Avs right now is power play points. There are some really good money makers if the Avs can pick up a power play point there. And then the boosted bet you saw there is the parlay of, I believe it's Makar point, the Avs to win and Nelson to score. Yeah, +500. Pretty decent money. Can go with a bunch of different options there with Bet365. And their pregame picks where things are never ordinary. Of course, be sure to jump in with Bet365 with the DNVR 365 code. And when you do gamble at Bet365, you must be 21 or older, physically located in Colorado. And if you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER today. Super chat from Jake here who says, Rudo's mustache equal Miko. Gone and will be missed. I don't know, man. I'm not a big mustache guy. Like, it gets in my mouth. It's gross. I'm kind of glad that it's gone. I don't want my beard to go though. I want the Avs to win so my beard can stay. All right, let the beard live. That's what I'm here for.
I'm getting tired of my beard, man.
I
want to go back
barely
to my
even call that
days.
thing a beard, buddy.
Oh, I know, but I mean, I shaved last night. It's just it goes really quick.
Yeah,
it's like
grows
5
right
o'clock
back.
shadow. Yeah.
Either way, beard or not, I mean, I don't know. I guess what technically the Avs season ends in a month, and then I might have to shave it to start the playoff beard. We'll see.
Yeah, we might. Yeah.
There's the over that I actually was taken today. Yeah, this game will be interesting. I would say I would like to see the Avs play from ahead early here. We haven't gotten a ton of that from them. They did score first in the Toronto game, but those goals came back on them pretty quickly. And then it took until the third period against both Chicago and the loss to Minnesota the other night for the Avs to get on the board. So you would like to see the Avs maybe do a better job of getting out the right way.
Yeah, I want them to come out flying. I do believe they will. You know what I mean? It's kind of an easy road trip. It's a 2-gamer, 2 games, and 2 days off in between, right? A full day off, a practice, fun night tonight in Canada on a Friday night. It's fun. You know what I mean? Like it's a good game. Same time zone. You get home tonight, it's not that bad. You know what I mean? And then obviously tomorrow will be off, and then you have an afternoon game. Which I like when you come back because. Again, 1 game at a time. But I do believe the Avs got to come out flying tonight. I do believe the Avs will come out flying tonight. I do believe the Avs have the swag and they believe in themselves. And again, you want to show your employer that they had the right mindset at the deadline to do what they did, which I believe they did. They came out swinging. And, maybe it tailed off a little bit. Again, is it the 3 and 4, the fatigue? Maybe. I think tonight they come out swinging and really go back to what they've been doing and keep going and, make it 8 in a row with a point, right? So make it 7-0-1 the last 8 and go from there.
2 days rest. No excuses on that front for sure.
Nope.
You should be ready to go if you're Colorado. Final thought here on this game. When you look at the little details of the Avs game, who do you think has stood out the most of the new guys that are regularly in the lineup? So Nelson, Coyle, Lindgren. Which of those 3 do you think does the little things the best?
I'm a big Charlie fan, you know that. So I do believe his work on the PK, especially that game there on the 5-on-3, is really good. He gives you that right shot sentiment. Besides Nate, obviously that Nate doesn't really care about faceoffs, but I do believe that Charlie gives you the details. I think Charlie will be a perfect fit player for the Avalanche. And you're talking about details of the game. There's a reason why Charlie Coyle is who he is, and 32 teams would like to get Charlie Coyle because he pays attention to details. So that would be my answer.
There you go. I'm down for that. I'll take any answer from there, to be honest, though. We do have to wrap up pre-game here. Dallas is now trailing by 2 at the start of the second period. So If you're scoreboard watching, that's going well. Now the Avs got to go take care of business themselves. We're doing a watch along in a few minutes here. Come join us for that. And if you don't join us for that, at very least join us post-game where we will break down whatever happens, no matter what. We appreciate y'all. This has been the DNVR Avalanche pregame show, and we'll see you in a few.
We all silly like the mayor.